Potomac is back, y'all. One of my favorite franchises. Stacy, you really gonna let them ladies talk about your bad breath again?
Welcome to the Asia Esterak Hour, where film meets conspiracy and pop culture gets a reality check. From sharp recaps to sci-fi theories and media deep dives, Asia Esterak serves it unfiltered. Let the binge begin.
All right, welcome back to the Asia Esterak Hour. I'm Asia Esterak. Season 10 of The Real Housewives of Potomac. Potomac is one of my favorite, you guys. One of my absolute favorite. Oh my God. All right, season 10, episode 1. Let's get into it. So we open with Karen Huger getting out of jail. They don't fully show her, but they show the whole remnants of her leaving. The show actually, technically, it's anchored by Giselle. She's inviting all the ladies to her house to talk about Karen and later Stacy. So anyway, all the ladies show up. It was good to see everybody again. There's tension in the air between Kiarna, aka Kay. Kay is my girl. There will be no slander about Kay on this channel. We gonna fight. But there's issues with her and Wendy. I can't say that I'm surprised. So anyway, they all meet up. They're talking about Karen, and they're all kind of lamenting over the fact that she's in jail. Giselle's like, every morning I wake up and I think, and Wendy finishes the sentence, Karen's in jail. So they're all talking about that. I was getting annoyed because I thought Karen was on her 5th DUI. I was under the assumption she was on her 5th DUI. My mistake. It was her 4th. 4 too many. But anyway, I just felt like, I was like, why are they so sympathetic? Like, who gives a fuck? You drove drunk 4 times. Your ass should have been in jail. But anyway, but in that same scene, then Giselle goes, but she has 4 DUIs. I can't get past that. Thank you for saying that. Is someone who is a recovering alcoholic who no longer drinks, who had the DUI, I think jail time should be mandatory when you first get one to deter your ass from doing it again. I'm just saying. I really hope that Karen evolved after this. I really do. Because it's, like I've said in all my other videos, I'm not going to go too heavy on Karen. Karen will end up killing somebody if she don't get it together. But we'll see her next season. They touched on that. So, of course, they start talking to Stacy about this whole TJ thing. So remember last season, TJ was a dude she was dating, supposedly, even though they had never kissed. And it was this like Christian mingle type of relationship or whatever. So he, of course, has been dragging her name through the mud, saying that she paid him to be on the show, yada, yada, yada. So they're asking Stacy about this. And Stacy's just, I've forgiven TJ and all this stuff. Stacy, you would have been a great politician because you got an essay answer that says nothing. You just do word salad to people. I'm telling you, you would have been a hell of a politician, girl. Because wow. Here's what's funny. They're all pressing her, and she's not. It's funny because they know she's lying. I mean, they know that she's full of it. And anybody that's been watching Potomac, you're not going to be able. If Giselle smells that you're lying or something ain't right, she ain't gonna let that go. She's never been able to let shit go. Come on. Ashley too. Actually, everybody, but mainly Giselle. And now that Robin's gone, it's Giselle and Ashley. But Stacy is getting upset. Ashley's particularly upset because she feels like Stacy misrepresented herself. And even Kiarna is giving her a little, she don't like when Kay get into it. Kay don't play either, though. They're all coming at Stacy. She's not feeling it. She ends up leaving, right? So she leaves. This is when Ashley and I believe Giselle, they talk about going to this female, like Black women empowerment event in LA. And they run into this actress who happens to be really good friends with TJ. And she's pulling out all these receipts about how TJ is apparently suing Stacy because she had promised to give him half of her earnings for RHOP. And Giselle's like, I really tried to screenshot the legal document, but I wasn't able to. That's interesting. To me, I think it's pretty obvious that Stacey's lying, but it's very obvious that she's not going to discuss it on camera. She's not admitting the shit on camera. She's smart. Um, and the fact that she's now kind of back with her ex-husband. I mean, let's keep it real. You got what you were going through a divorce. You hired TJ to be on the show, probably to solidify your spot on the show. Let's keep it real. She wouldn't be the first housewife to do it. She won't be the last. I'm not going to penalize her for it. I do think it's crazy that she's lying with a straight face. Like with a straight face. And it was funny because in the confessional, Kay was like, a bitch that'll lie to you like that, that's a dangerous person. And I think it was Ashley that said that, but she's right. I mean, Stacey girl. So that kind of ends that. The next scene we go to Stacey and her ex-husband. So they meet up and apparently so according to Stacey, they all spent, I guess, Christmas together in 2024. And she said they got the news that their divorce was final and they've been giving each other the googly eyes and decided to give it another try or whatever. Stacey, P.T. Barnum said there's a sucker born every minute. I don't disagree with that. Bitch, I'm not a sucker. You clearly were still with your husband. Y'all were on the outs and you knew that he probably wasn't trying to film with you last season. It just explains so much. It explains everything. And it's interesting, this TJ stuff, because it's not going away. So anyway, they're talking about their relationship and how it can be better. And we just keep looking at each other a certain way. Okay, girl. Okay. Her husband looks like the mother from Unknown Number. And that's all I'm going to say on that. So the next scene, Ashley invites Stacey. I'm telling you, every scene, this is why I love Potomac. Potomac rarely has boring moments to me. Love Potomac. So Ashley invites Stacey to this like boutique situation, which we now know was not to look at no boutique, nothing, no clothes, no nothing. She got there to get to the nitty gritty about what this actress said at that luncheon. Because remember, Stacey left. So they come in, or Stacey comes in, they greet each other. And then, Ashley with the, so Stacey, after you left, we were all talking and, we're just talking about this whole TJ thing. And basically, I think Ashley wants Stacey to admit that she's lying. Ashley, that's never going to happen. Ashley, if Stacey's going to admit that she lied about TJ and her having a relationship, are you going to admit that Michael grabbed the cameraman's ass? Huh? You going to admit that? I know you're not married anymore, but come on, girl. Come on. So she tells Stacey about her friend, not her friend, TJ's friend, the actress, a well-known actress. They bleep the lady's name out. I might get bored later and slow down because I really want to know. I want to know who she was talking about. But she tells Stacey about the receipts and everything. Yo, again, politician. I don't know why. Whoever this imaginary friend, that's what she kept referring to the lady. Imaginary friend is. It's not true, Ashley. Ashley, I have forgiven TJ. We're good now. Girl, y'all are not good. He's suing you. He's suing you. And it is very apparent she ain't addressing that shit. So they start getting into it. And Ashley's just like, you have misrepresented yourself. And she says this again at the end of the episode, but she's like, you came into this group on some, basically, you came in on some fugazi shit. And now you're getting called on it. Here's the problem. TJ is messy as shit. And I think he didn't get whatever he wanted out of the bargain. I really feel like it was more than money. I really do. Which would explain why he kicked up all this dust trying to be relevant. Sir, you're an actor. Go act. You got paid on, well, I don't know. Maybe he didn't get paid. That's the whole thing. He's saying he never got paid. I just think it's a really silly way to get notoriety. But then again, he's an actor. This is exposure for him. So, okay. My thing is, Stacey, pay your bills. And then this wouldn't have to come out. But anyway, back to her and Ashley. Ashley is really trying to get her to just be honest. And she goes, and her thing is, so Stacey's like, I can't control what other people say. And Ashley's like, but this is why everybody thinks you're fake. And of course, Stacey doesn't care anything about that. Stacy ends up leaving. She ends up walking away. And Ashley, of course, had to throw a quib about her bad breath. It's her breath. It must be that bad because everybody has something to say about it. My goofy ass wants to know. I want to smell her breath. I need to know if it's that bad. Let me stop. Let me stop. Terrible, terrible. That was the ninth. That was the 14-year-old ninth grader in me. Anyway, um, so she leaves. Now the whole thing is Ashley's having a big party at the end of the episode. It's called the Second Bloom. It's a divorce party. I don't understand this bloom shit. She talks about how her first bloom, I guess, was her marriage and her kids, and this time it's her second time around. So that's the whole thing that we're leading up to in this episode. So anyway, after Stacy leaves, because Stacy's not discussing, Stacy is sticking to her lies. She's sticking to the lie. That's it. She's sticking to the lie. So she leaves. Ashley just kind of like whatever, which was hilarious. The boutique owner walks out afterwards with two, I think like two glasses of champagne. And Ashley was like, we should have had those before. So anyway, the next scene we see Giselle living her life at home in her now finished house. Her house looked a lot better. Love the outfit she was wearing in the scene. She's an empty nester. It's funny. I used to really, really not like Giselle. Oh my God. But I've grown to like her. And I understand her pettiness. I get it. She's a Virgo. Virgos are petty. Smartest motherfuckers in the room. Petty as hell. Well, I'm a Gemini. We might be pretty petty too. And I got a Capricorn moon, girl. Anyway, this is not about me. But so Giselle, empty nester, living her best life. Her daughter's doing her thing. Shout out to them. So after that, we go over to Kay. Kay is going to her friend Angel's house. So Angel is new. Angel is a business owner. I forget what she said she did for a living. Her husband is a retired NFL player. Good looking dude, cute family. Angel's a cute lady. I'll say this. I can only judge what you give me so far. I was not feeling her introduction at all. It was a comment that she made in her confessional talking about, well, I'm Angel. Most people think I'm a bitch, but inside I'm calm and I'm the one that everybody comes to for advice. And I was just like, that was your introduction? Everybody thinks I'm a bitch. It's probably because you are. I don't know. It was her only first episode. I didn't like that. She seems very aware of the camera too. Very aware. They say it takes 5 hours to forget that the camera's in the room. This must have been like minute 23. I don't know. So anyway, they meet up. We see her cute house. Her and Kay ends up going on like a walk, a hike type of thing, and basically Kay is filling her in on the group, you know, and but she's mainly talking about her frustration with Wendy. So this is when we learned that there's a disconnect between Kay and Wendy. Kay feels like Wendy isn't showing up for her as a friend and not really being a friend. She had mentioned how Wendy had done something shady. They were going to the same event and she chose not to mention that she was at the event. We later learn about that. I love Kay. I used to really love Wendy, actually, like love her. I just find like I think Wendy kind of floats every season a little bit. Last season she was great. She was funny. Her ad libs, she had me dying last season. I hope that we can regain that. But I do feel like I get the vibe sometimes that Wendy goes with whoever's the most popular. Unpopular opinion, but it's the way I feel about it. I noticed that because you was all up Robin and Giselle's ass your first season. And then when the shit got a little too thick, you was all up into them, and then you got their rap, and it was just this whole thing. I don't think either party was right. I didn't like all the colorist shit with Wendy either. But all that being, I'm digressing. There's something with Kay and Wendy because Kay is feeling some type of way. Now, her examples at the end of the episode, I was kind of like, on the examples, but you know when somebody's playing you, and you know when somebody's playing with you. And Kay doesn't seem like the type to just start shit out of the blue. One thing I said this about her last season, she is very communicative with what she doesn't like. And she has a very direct, non-confrontational way of addressing it. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I see. I'm a fan of Kay. I really Really am. I was happy to see her come back this season. I'm not happy she's still with that man, but we can't win them all, right? But anyway, but she kind of feels like Wendy is not really being a friend to her, and it's giving I don't really like you. That's the vibe that she feels like Wendy is giving her. She didn't say that. That's me saying that. That was my interpretation. So Angel's like, well, I can't wait to meet all these ladies and form my own opinions, which she later says. Um, this is so in this little scene, we learned that Angel actually went to college. She went to the same college as Wendy. They both went to Temple University. She threw a little age jab at Wendy. What's the point of throwing like shaming someone for their age? I find that to be so strange, especially when someone's older, because I'm like, I hope that you make it to my age. You over here shaming me. I thought that annoyed me. But she was like, as Wendy was getting ready to leave, I was just coming in. Like, a little jab. Like, girl, I don't know about you, Angel. I listen, you've had two confessionals so far, and I was like, I texted my friend Tatiana. I was like, I don't know about her, girl. We'll see, but and she did mention her business in the scene. So her and her husband own like an outdoor type of business, and they were based in Colorado, but now they're back in Maryland where she's originally from. So it makes sense that she's connected to the Potomac in that world. And the irony that she went to college with Wendy is pretty crazy too. Um but so yeah, there was that. Um so we get to the next scene is Ashley's second bloom situation. So she's still getting ready upstairs. The party looked cool. There was this really beautiful woman in like this whole flower outfit, like at the front. I guess this was shot during the springtime, which would be all the flowers. I love flowers. I love the springtime. It's nice. So that was cute. So Giselle gets there with her friend Tia. So Tia's a new cast member. We didn't learn a lot about her. It was very quick. I'm pretty sure that she'll have a bigger like package in the next episode. But Tia's British and has comes from money. She talked about having Ferraris as a kid or something like that. They showed a picture. Very brief. Very prim and proper. I and she said that her family, I guess she comes from money. They're Nigerian royalty, like actually Nigerian royalty. And she's like, yes, I'm a princess, and kind of does that. Okay. She gonna be interesting too. The two new ladies, y'all gonna be interesting. I can tell already. You're gonna be interesting. So they come in, and then Wendy comes in. Kay and Angel get there. The rest of the ladies trinkle, they trinkle in. Stacy gets there. Everybody looked great. Everybody was very nice. I really like Stacy's dress. The pink frilly thing. Loved Wendy's outfit. Wendy came in a gown, like a lavender chiffon gown, very pretty. And it was funny. They were kind of calling out the whole second bloom party. Well, Wendy was. Wendy's like, well, when was the first bloom? I was a little thrown off by the. Yeah, Wendy was a little thrown off. We were too, Wendy, because I didn't understand that. But before we even get to Ashley's intro into the party, when Giselle gets there, I just want to jump back real quick. When Giselle gets there with her British friend Tia, we see Charisse. Why is Charisse not a regular cast member? Maybe she doesn't want to be, but I just feel like Charisse has a lot of interesting stuff going on. But I think maybe going through the divorce on TV and that whole thing, maybe that just was like, I don't want to do this. I don't know. But I like Charisse. I like seeing her. I wish she was a main cast member. I liked Charisse. Charisse was kind of the glue and the reason a lot of these people were even on this show. But anyway, so everybody gets there. Then they do this announcement for Ashley. So Ashley comes to the top of the stairs in this beautiful gown. I fell out because there were these like I can't think of what they are. They remind me of they're like little sparkler fireworks on either side of the stairwell. And she was like, is this fire hazard? Should I walk down? So she walked down in the middle, and they're like, why'd she stop? And she stands there and she's like, I want you guys to. And that's when Wendy was like, what is a second bloom? That was kind of funny. So she comes down, does her entrance. Boom. Party is popping. She's there now. She's mingling with everybody. Ashley looked great. Ashley, are you doing something to your face? Because her face looked different. And then my mom texted me this morning and was like, Ashley's face looked different. So I was like, okay. And then I'm watching and I was like, it does look different. Are you doing fillers? I hope you're not, because you don't need to. No one needs fillers like that, y'all. Stop doing that. It makes you look older. But anyway, I mean, she looked great, but I was like, girl, what is going on? But so Giselle and Wendy are talking, and Giselle's kind of joking about Wendy's dress. She's like, "Oh, were you inspired by my dress last year?" Because the dress she had on was very similar to the dress that Giselle wore at the reunion, that like pink chiffon. Either way, they both look great. I love Wendy's dress. I loved the color. So Kay sits down, she greets Giselle, and then Wendy is continuing to talk to Giselle. And Kay kind of interrupts and was like, you're not gonna acknowledge me, you're just ignoring me. Kay, you're coming off a little defensive with her. Kay, I love you. But what I feel like there's more to this Wendy situation than this is only the first episode. I have a feeling it's gonna get a lot deeper. But they kind of have a back and forth, and Kay's like, you're ignoring me and you're just talking to her. And Wendy's like, we were having it to be, and Wendy was right. Wendy's like, I was talking to her. We were having a conversation. I wasn't trying to ignore you. Anyway, Giselle's like, well, maybe I should leave and let you guys talk. So they start talking, and Kay brings up that they went to the same event, and she's mad that Wendy failed to mention that she was a speaker at the event. And Kay's thing was like, you didn't even mention that. You said that you were going, but you didn't mention that. And then at the event, you kind of acted like you didn't even see me, like you knew I was there, but you kind of ignored me. And some sort of acknowledgement. And Wendy was like, was I supposed to say hi to you from the stage? This was an interesting one because I can see where they both are coming from. I could see Kay feeling dismissed and being like, you could have acknowledged me, which she could have. She just chose not to. And then Wendy's whole stance is like, was I supposed to say hi from the stage? But Wendy, you do that though. That right there, that dismissive shit, you do that. You do that. So I can understand where she's coming from. But then again, Kay, does she have to say hi to you from the stage? I get it. It's a friendly acknowledgement. Here's what I get from this scene. I feel like Wendy doesn't like you. That's the vibe that I get. She seems annoyed by you. And Kiarna, you don't need to fight to be friends with anybody. You're lovely. I think you're fantastic. I think you hold yourself very well. It was very interesting in the confessional because she was like, I love Wendy. I consider her a friend, but I just didn't like the way she treated me. I'm a businesswoman. I'm out here working, doing my thing. I felt like she kind of threw jabs a little bit at Wendy's businesses because let's be real, Wendy, we had the candle company, your YouTube channel. I checked, you haven't had a new YouTube video in 4 months. I still follow you on YouTube, but I don't see anything. And a lot of it is political stuff, and I'm political out now. That's the last thing I want to seek out. But I don't know. I kind of feel like the Wendy and Kiarna situation is going to get worse before it gets better. But as of episode 1, I could see where Kiarna's coming from, but I could also see when Wendy's a Gemini. We're both Geminis. And I kind of feel like when she's over somebody, she's over them. Or if she's pulling away from somebody, she's not giving them that much energy. The vibe I get is, I said earlier that she dislikes Kiarna, but maybe she's just not feeling her like that. I don't know. Something seems off. But again, I feel like Wendy's been off for a few seasons. I used to really love her, and I just feel like she's fallen off a little bit. I don't know. I feel like we've never really met the real Wendy. It just seems like there's this reinvention every season. So far, none of that, but I don't know. The thing with her and Kay, I don't like it. I don't like it, and I feel like there's a lot more to it. I just think Kay is using these particular examples. I don't know. I don't know. It just I don't like that they're fighting, but I feel like we're gonna learn more about it. So while they're over there talking, Stacy, Angel, and Ashley and Giselle are all talking, and they're kind of chatting with Angel, and they're talking about Ashley. And Angel was like, "You seem sweet," and Giselle's like, "She's sweet until she isn't," talking about Ashley. So they're all kind of laughing, and then Ashley throwing some shade. She's like, well, I mean, I'm sweet, but unless you like lie to me or if your breath stank. So Stacy's like, what are you trying to say, that my breath stinks? And so Ashley's like, no, I'm just saying in general. Girl, you know what you was doing. Ashley, stop. Stop it. So they're kind of little back and forth. We're intercutting with Kay and Wendy, who were now, Kiana decides to bring up that at another red carpet event that they had, she felt like Wendy was throwing shade at her about asking her if she had done her own makeup. And they showed a picture of Kay's makeup. She looked fine to me. And Wendy's like, I didn't even mean it like that. She said in her confessional. That's how I know there's something wrong, because it's like whatever Wendy does is getting lost in translation to Kay. As a viewer, that's what it looks like. But I know human condition. This shit is deeper than the makeup comment, the other stuff, the not telling her. It's deeper than that. It's a few things. And I feel like we're going to learn about it. So they're over there going over that, talking about that. Meanwhile, Ashley and Stacy are still kind of little bit of jabs. So then she's like, can I talk to you away from her, referring to Giselle? She's like, because when you two get together, it's like back and forth. So they walk away and Giselle's like, don't say it. Don't start that. So she walks away. She says something about her breath and then Angel goes, well, it was a little bit tart, and they all start laughing. So in the confessional, Angel's like, well, her breath did greet me before she did. Listen. Listen, my teeth are fucked up. I got teeth on the side. Y'all will never get me. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. But I wish I would get on national TV with bad breath, and that's what motherfuckers is talking about. So Ashley and Stacy, they sit to the side, and basically Stacy's like, I just wanted to let you know that I still showed up to support you, even though you hurt me by saying what you said. So Ashley, of course, gets defensive, and Ashley's like, the problem is I don't feel like I can trust you. Like, you're just continuously lying. And Stacy's like, why does it matter to you? Going back and forth with her. She ends up leaving again. She leaves again. Hold up though. Before Stacy storms out, their argument is getting elevated, because even Wendy looks over and goes, what's going on over there? Stacy's friend, I think his name's AJ, he comes up and he's like, ladies, you guys are being loud. The other ladies come up and Ashley's like, walk your ass on out of here with your size 11s, gallop out. Bitch, I wear a size 11 and I'm 5'10". Now what? Y'all better stop. Y'all are age shaming. We are shoe size shaming. We are height shaming. You need to stop. Anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. The whole galloping, that shit had me dying. But they're all basically telling them, like, you guys need to, bring it down. That's when Stacy just eventually just leaves, and the episode kind of ends there. It's definitely a to be continued. It's a continued, obviously. I love Potomac. This was a good first episode. There was a lot. So we know that Stacy and Ashley and Giselle, that's a no. Wendy and Kay is a no. And it seems like everybody else is cool. I'm sure we'll learn more about the new lady Tia. I'm sure we'll learn more about Angel. I ain't feeling her like that yet. We'll see. I don't like when people are too familiar. And the thing is, you came in. You remind me of what's her face from Miami, Stephanie. You come in hot like you don't know them like that. You know Kay, and you knew Wendy in passing at college, which is funny. Wendy was like, I didn't know her, but yeah, she's a familiar face. Anyway, I love Potomac. This was a good first episode. This is going to be an interesting season. And it's going to be interesting to see the dynamic without Karen. I have a funny feeling Karen is going to be a hot topic all season, though. Anyway, it's Monday, y'all. Be nice to each other. I had the craziest day today at work. Talk about Mondaying. Anyway, stay hydrated. Be nice to each other. You guys have a great week. And I'm going to go return these videotapes.